Hey guys, back from vacation. Happy to get back into a series I started before I left, and that is a series on the parables of Jesus. And this message is about it's about a guy that was not very honest. In fact, he kind of did some double dealing. He sort of cooked the books, but it's a parable nonetheless that Jesus told, and it's a parable of the dishonest manager or the shrewd servant. I like to focus on the shrewd servant because Jesus did. You know, Jesus talked more about money than he did heaven and hell combined. It's an amazing thought. Of the 39 parables, there's about 11 of them that talk about money, just discuss money. And the reason is because that's a big issue in life, isn't it? I mean, it really is. It's sort of a tender spot for a lot of us. And I just... I'm the pastor and I'm sharing on money, but it's not to get people to tithe more. All right, it's to get people to consider trusting more. And that's important. So this is a parable about stewardship. It's about managing what God's given us. In fact, the parable closes in Luke chapter 16, 1 through 13. It closes with... the parable portion closes with the master commending the dishonest manager because he acted shrewdly. That's what Jesus is focusing in on, is this idea of shrewdness. Not that he sort of wheeled and dealed and scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'm going to, adjust your invoice and make it look a little better, and then I'll have friends later. I mean, that's part of the story, but Jesus talks about being shrewd, which means wise. It means prudent. It means to act with foresight. In fact, it's the same word used of the man who built his house upon the rock. He acted in foresight and with wisdom. The man acted decisively in the now in anticipation of a better position in the future. Listen, this guy was all but honest in this story. So why does Jesus use him as an example for us to follow, especially in regard to money? Well, there's three things I want to draw out for you real quickly. Number one, shrewdness with money can achieve kingdom results. It can achieve eternal goals that God would have for us. In verse 9, it says, gain friends for yourself, utilizing what's called unrighteous mammon, which simply means just the wealth of the earth, that you may be welcomed into eternal dwellings. A couple things he's not saying. He's not saying that you can pay for salvation. You can buy your way into heaven. You can earn a spot on the heavenly roll call. We know that salvation is a free gift, and it's received by the grace that God gives us. So what's the point? Well, money can be used to feed the hungry. Money can be used to buy Legos for kids who've lost theirs in a tornado or in a fire, or backpacks for kids of lesser means, or to educate people. But you see, when we do those kinds of things for God and for God's glory, we bring attention not to what we have, but to who God is. And in that sense, we're making friends that may end up stepping into eternity because of what we've done, what we've invested in, what we've given to. Money can be used to bless and bring kingdom goals to fruition. Money can, of course, be used to negative ways, buy drugs, fill the false need to have more stuff and more clothes, or it can destroy people. Well, money's a powerful thing. It's in and of itself, it's amoral. But the moment we utilize it, we attach a moral or an ethical value to it. The Bible never says that money is evil. It says that the root or the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Look at 1 Timothy chapter 6, 9 through 10. Listen, if you invest the possessions, what God has given you, in a way that it establishes relationships that lead into an eternal place in heaven, that's an amazing proposition. Ask yourself this question: how can I maximize my resources for eternity? How can I maximize my resources for eternity? Number two, stewardship of the resources God has given us has eternal consequences. Verse 10 says, whoever can be trusted in very little things can be trusted with bigger things and with much. Whoever is dishonest in the little things, look, you're going to be dishonest with more, right? I mean, it's in the little things that God wants to test us and to purge us and to grow us and mature us. It's in the little things that we prove ourselves. Well, you can't earn your way to heaven. But can God give you greater influence? Can He expand your resources? Can He give you better connections, better personal connections, favor with customers, respect by those searching for truth? Absolutely. But He wants us to be faithful with what He's given us now. What He's given us now. You know, we have a problem sometimes. We want more. We want what we want when we want it. Give it to me now. I don't want to save. I don't want to scrimp. I don't want to eat rice and beans and rice just like our wonderful friend Dave Ramsey would tell us to do. We don't want to do that. No, we want to have it now. We want the big screen TV now. We want the new car now. I see this in young people's lives especially. Problem is we begin to buy into a mentality that bankrupts the future so we can payroll the present. We shouldn't bankrupt the future just to take care of the now. No. Shrewd disciples recognize that the stewardship of money prevents bondage to money. Let me say that again. Shrewd disciples recognize that stewardship of money, the wealth, the resources that we have prevents bondage to money. Listen, money is a great servant, but it is a ruthless master. Number 3, you can't serve both God and mammon. You can't do it. We can serve God with money, but we can never serve God and money. You know, the same dollar that the shrewd manager wily kind of used his ways to pave his own golden future. The steward, the good disciple, the one that does what God wants us to do, can invest that same dollar in relationships that produce eternal results. So let me ask you just a couple questions as I conclude here in these thoughts. What's important to you? What are true riches? And how are you stewarding the resources God has given you? Awesome. Well, next Sunday I want to talk a little bit about the parables of heaven. Can't wait to see you.